place that I'm functioning from. This is not enough. I require more money. Something has to change here. So when you do something like that, there's a demand that you make of yourself. You can ask questions, be aware of possibilities. You can see a lovely glass of lemonade sitting out there with ice on it and the dew running down the glass, and you could be really, really thirsty. You could see that and be aware of it, but still not choose to go and drink it. So you can be aware of things and still not choose them. So a demand is quite a powerful thing when you make a demand of you, and you're the only one that can make a demand of you that will work. I could make a demand of you. You can listen to me. Could I make you do anything? Could anybody make you do anything that you don't really want to do? No? Yes? No. I don't think so. So you have to make the demand. You have to create the change. You have to make the choice. Nobody else can do that for you. It's just like you choose to have limitation. You choose not to have enough money. It's a choice. You could change it. So here's the thing with demand. When you make a demand of you, what you're saying is, here's this, I'm aware there's this limitation. I don't have enough money. Okay? Here it is. My bank account is low. I'm doing this thing. My clothes aren't what I'd like them to be. My jewelry's not what I like. I don't have bars of silver in my cupboard. This is not enough. And so what you're saying is that there is nothing more important to me than changing that. That I will do whatever it takes so that can change. I don't care who has to leave my life, who has to come into my life, what has to change, what needs to shift, what's going to happen. Nothing is more important than me having that change. That's a demand. And you'll find sometimes when you make demands and you create change in your life and you choose something different, people do leave. People do go away. Marriages do break up. It happens. Because when you change that dynamically, and also if you change quite quickly, which is possible in Access, you're not the person that you've been before. In order for you to have more money, you have to change. So it's sort of like if you walked out of here tomorrow, and I would so like this to happen, this would be awesome, and you were a millionaire tomorrow, or a billionaire, would certain people in your life be uncomfortable with that? If you suddenly had lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money, if you suddenly showed up in a BMW with diamonds dripping and big beautiful pearl earrings and big strands of things and fancy high heel shoes and crocodile belts and, well, something for the boys, I'm not sure. But anyway, would certain people in your life be uncomfortable with that? Yes. Okay, and would some people be so uncomfortable that they couldn't be near you anymore? Yes. And they would have to move away? So when you're looking for change like that, you have to be willing for all of that to happen. It may not be happen. I'm not saying that you're creating that to happen, but the willingness is not that you do it. Like you could be willing to kill somebody and not kill somebody. It's the willingness to do it if you had to. Okay? So making a demand is a tool. I used to go down the beach and I'd walk along the beach and I'd say, okay, whatever it's going to take, I'm going to change this. I don't care who has to leave my life. I don't care who has to come into my life. I don't care if my family goes away. I'm going to change it. And I used to tantrum down on the beach and yell at the sky. It was really funny. And what I was doing was I was posturing. I was trying to use force as an energy. I was trying to create something so somebody else could actually change it for me that I wouldn't have to. I don't know what I was doing, but it was never a demand. When I made the demand to have more money, everything changed. And it doesn't have to be about having more money. It could be about relationship. It could be about your body. It could be about whatever it has to be about. It's not a tool. This making a demand is not a tool that's just limited to money. You can use it anywhere in your life. There's women that I know that have been or were in abusive relationships. They got beaten, and they were still there. And it's kind of strange when you're in a situation like that, and it's become I don't know, when that's become better than the freedom and the possibility you could have, you sort of get locked into that. And so to make a demand for that to change can be quite confronting for somebody. And you've got to be willing for everybody that you created in your life that supports you being like that to go away. So that you can, because you've got to change. So it's the same. So use demand for anything in your life. But be aware that if you make a demand and nothing changes, you haven't made the demand. You've done what I've done, gone down the beach and yelled at the sky and postured and pretended. There's no loudness in demand. There's no force. It's simply, okay, this is changing, whatever it takes. And when you make a demand of yourself like that, you will begin to create the change that you're asking for. And things will show up. The universe will provide. Things will show up to support you in that demand. And you've just got to trust you. You've got to go light and heavy and follow that through and be aware that this is simply a change that you're creating. And whatever shows up is what will show up. It will never look like what you think it will look. It will always be different, but it will be greater than what you're stuck with right now. So what demand could you make right now that would allow you to have greater ease with money and more money showing up in your life? It's kind of interesting when you ask that question. There's a lightness there. It's not a big, bad, terrible thing. Change is not a big, bad, terrible thing. It's just change. So what demand could you make right now that would allow more ease and more money to show up in your life? So everything that doesn't allow that, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Good and bad, right and wrong, pod, poc, or 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So what demand could you make right now that would allow more money and greater ease with money to show up for you and in your life and your living and your reality? So just be aware of that energy when I ask that question, because there's an energy there. And it's being created. It's with all of us in this room. And when you destroy and uncreate it, the person next door to you gets a little more freedom, and the person over here gets a little bit more freedom, and somebody else in your life who's not here gets a little bit more freedom. It's kind of weird how it works. So everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Good and bad, right and wrong, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.